Hello, hello. Today I am doing a solo episode. So I wanted to, first of all, thank everyone that has been listening so far. It's been a really fun experience for me. I've learned a lot and I've really enjoyed reconnecting and sharing these conversations that I've been having with some of my old friends, former colleagues, everyone who's been just so vulnerable and open about some of the really difficult things they've experienced, in addition to any success they might be having right now. I think there's two sides to every coin. So everyone's been really open, and I really appreciate that. And it's been so fun seeing the response, connecting with old friends who have listened to random episodes who are like, oh my god, like that was really intense, like that's crazy, this person's so cool, I'm following them on Instagram now. So that's been really fun, thank you. And even people I don't know, complete strangers who've sent me messages that I've connected with as a result of some of the episodes. So that's been fun. I'm learning that recording a podcast is a lot more labor intensive than just turning on the camera and hitting record. There's definitely a lot of legwork that goes into the back, but it's an experience. It's a learning curve, and I'm learning new platforms. I'm also on YouTube now, so that's been fun. And yeah, I think the main theme that I want to really touch upon, which is, the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted to reach more people and help more people. I used to be really into blogging. I still have a blog. I don't really post very frequently, but when I will sit down and really like pour my heart and soul into a blog, it is always really beautiful. The people that read it and reach out to me and tell me, even years later, sometimes I still get messages on blogs that I wrote a really long time ago. I'll still randomly get messages and people will be like, this helped me so much. And I think I love stories. I love a really good story, and I have many of my own. But I also think that we are, human beings thrive on community, and story is what, makes us human. And sharing our stories is so important. And so I really want to thank all of my guests so far. Teddy, Anakin, Danny, Pete, and Chris. I'm not going to be able to do that for much longer. So, probably only the next one or two solo episodes, I'm going to be able to list the guests. Um, thank you guys so much for being my first guests. You've been so engaging. People have loved everything you've shared, and it's been really moving. I actually learned more about all of my old friends who were my guests than I even knew previously. So it was an enjoyable and learning experience for me as well. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, I think sharing your story it's so important and it's so human, and we're so, as a culture, there's this like such a like a stigma to like figure it out on your own and be strong and be independent. But really, what I saw in every single episode that I've recorded so far is everyone's ability to kind of realize when they'd sort of hit a point where they were like, I need some help. This is too much now. And that, the rock bottom theme that I'm trying to touch on in all the episodes is what often brings people to therapy in the first place, is this realization that they're carrying too much and they can't do it on their own anymore. So I just really want to stress for anyone who is struggling right now, anyone who's having a tough time or is feeling like it's a little too much, because if you're not feeling that right now, I'm surprised, because the world is in absolute chaos. This is not an easy time. to be a human. And I know anyone can argue that there were rougher times in history, whatever. But right now, historically, politically, historically, environmentally, like this is not an easy time to be a human. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. Like, share your story, ask for help. There, help is out there. Sometimes that looks like just saying it out loud for the first time, writing it down, putting it out there into the universe. Even if you're not ready to tell anyone, send a text, tell your friend. And then just, it's the ripple effect, the butterfly effect. You tell one person or you help one person and you just have no idea the help that you're going to get back. So I have to say, I was so moved by so many of my friends' messages. I've had a few people reach out that have listened to some of the episodes, particularly Teddy's, where Teddy, my first guest, my wonderful Teddy, love you, who shared her story of her journey through recovery as an alcoholic, through addiction. And it was intense. I had to put a trigger warning on it. I didn't even realize how intense it was, but I had a lot of people be like, wow, that was hard to listen to, but so amazing. And so I actually added a trigger warning. But, Teddy, she couldn't have gotten to where she is now if she hadn't have had help. And God, yeah, I think about my own life and experiences that I've had, and, it's we all need help sometimes. And in the last year, or the last 2, 3 years, it's been intense, and I've had to ask for help from people, and it's hard. No one likes asking for help, but again, back to this, we are humans, and as the human race, we're meant to be in community. We're meant to connect with each other, and we're meant to help each other. So I want this podcast to help as many people as possible and to connect people. And the more vulnerable that you can be with your loved ones and with the people around you, um, I think the more reward you get from that, because it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. And all of the guests that I've had so far have been so brave and shared some pretty heavy stuff, from depression to addiction, suicidal ideation. It's tough. It's a lot of heavy stuff, but they've all gotten help and support and pushed through and are in, some pretty incredible places now. So I hope that it's inspiring to everyone who's listened and helpful. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes and who my next guests will be. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone one more time for listening to my podcast. And I can't wait to see where it goes. And yeah, I will in future episodes endeavor to share more of my own stories, many of which I never thought would be available for public consumption. So I'm gonna have to go through my library of stories and see what I think I'll be able to share on here. But as I touched on in my last episode with Chris, being of service, I think, is really helpful. And Teddy touches on that in her episode too, that's one of the things that helped her on her road to recovery is being of service. And I hope that this podcast can do that. I want to be of service and I want to help as many people as possible. So yeah, thank you for listening. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. Bye.